Hey guys, this is Justin at the Survivor Review, and today I'm going to be talking about Godzilla, the brand new reboot that I've been eagerly anticipating, and it was good. It was very good. So, to start out, Godzilla is the first American Godzilla film. That never happened, right? So, it's the first American Godzilla film, and it does the character justice. It truly is a Godzilla film, through and through, and it's awesome for it. Now, it's not a perfect movie. I have flaws that I'll talk about in a little bit, but for the most part, it's an extremely enjoyable movie, and one of the best theater experiences I've had in some time. It was such an exhilarating experience seeing this movie on a big screen with a big crowd. Me and Sam saw the movie Thursday night, so it was like the night before top showing, and the place was packed. And that's a great way to see this movie, with an audience that cheers whenever Godzilla does something awesome, and just was such a fun movie. Like, when the movie ended, I turned to Sam and went, "That movie's flawed, but I don't care." Basically. Oh, and also Sam, we'll do a spoiler video with Sam, where we go into detail on all the awesome stuff. Just getting that out of the way. Basically what we normally do. So, the plot of the movie, I'm going to give a very brief gist without really giving away anything. Basically, these two monsters called Mutos hatch, and they start wreaking havoc, and then basically Godzilla shows up to fight them off. And that's basically all I can say without really getting into detail. And on the human side, the movie follows, I can't think of the actor's name, or the characters, but the actor played Kick-Ass, so I'm just going to call him Kick-Ass for the rest of the video. It follows Kick-Ass, who's in the military, and he's trying to get home to California to his wife and son. And that's the main human element of the movie. The acting all around was very good. I liked Kick-Ass, even though a lot of people were complaining about his part, because he's very stoic and serious and doesn't emote that much. And it's kind of like, dude, you should be reacting since you just saw a giant monster walk by. And, you know, for the most part, I see what they're getting at, but I liked him. I liked him enough to where I was able to follow his story and be intrigued in what he was doing as the movie progressed. So I didn't mind that. Bryan Cranston is awesome. He's Bryan Cranston. He's just great in the short amount of screen time he has. I'll delve on that in a minute. And the actress playing Kick-Ass's wife, I thought was very good. Her role was small, she didn't really do much throughout the movie, but like you really felt the emotion whenever she was like on the phone talking to him and telling him like he has to come home and stuff like that. And I actually bought that. I liked that. I thought she gave a very emotional performance. I can't think of the actor's name again. I'm not good with actors' names, as you can tell. The actor playing the actor from Inception, he played Dr. Serizawa, and it's so awesome because Dr. Serizawa is the character from the original Godzilla. And I really liked that. I thought that was great. So overall, the acting I thought was good. I really liked the acting. So, my flaws with the film. Like I said, the movie's not perfect. I had flaws. My flaws... Well, first off, this was good. I'm really happy I knew this going into the film, because this made it... I didn't really find this much of a problem. Bryan Cranston doesn't have that much screen time. Even though he's advertised throughout the trailers as like the main character, he's not the main character. And I knew that going in, so I wasn't as disappointed. But basically, he's the guy that gets everything started. He's in the first half of the film, getting everything started, and then basically his son, Kick-Ass, takes over for the rest of the movie, and is the main hero throughout the movie. So he's basically at the beginning to start things off. And that said, he was very good. He was the most interesting character in the film. And another thing, though, if you like to complain about, the lack of Godzilla. Godzilla's really not he's not in a major part of the first and middle half of this movie until we get to the end. And since I knew that going in, it didn't affect me as much, and honestly, I didn't mind it. I was invested in actually what was going on with the human stuff of that, and that's like most Godzilla movies. Godzilla doesn't do much if you actually watch a Godzilla movie. He does a little bit here and there in the beginning, middle, and then the end is when he takes center stage, and that's what happened here. The Muto monsters are seen more than Godzilla. And again, that's like a Godzilla movie. Usually the villain in the Godzilla movie is shown more, and then Godzilla comes in to save the day. So I didn't mind that. My problems stem from there's a lot of plot conveniences, especially at the beginning. Like, right as Bryan Cranston and his son go to that place after 15 years, that's right when the Muto hatches, even though that they've been experimenting on that thing for 15 years. But the exact day they're there, that's when it happens. And I thought the introduction of the second Muto was really kind of weird. It's just like, there's a scene where it's like they realize, oh wait, there's another one. And they go try to find it and it's gone. It's like, oh, it's out now. And I thought, I don't know, I felt kind of rushed and kind of, I don't know, it was so kind of weird. And another thing that I've been thinking about this and I have the hardest time explaining it. Godzilla's role in the first half of the movie just felt really off. I don't know how to explain it. Basically, they explain that Godzilla's been alive since the 50s. And all those nuclear bomb tests weren't tests, they were trying to kill Godzilla. But they never could. And the way they play off Godzilla is more of a hero in this type of movie. He's an anti-hero. And I'm fine with that. But just the way they kind of built him up, like, there's like, oh, Godzilla will help fight. I don't know, I can't explain it. But his role in the first half of the movie just felt kind of weird. Until he appeared and started actually doing stuff. Until then. Not counting that, I'm talking about before that. That's why I just thought, I don't know, his part was kind of weird. And can't really explain it, but it felt kind of off, if that makes any sense. And then the ending, I like the idea they're going for with the ending, but it came off as really cheesy. And I was like, oh, that was kind of, that was goofy. That was a little goofy. And I'm not going to get into, I'll get into it into spoiler talk. But those are my major flaws. And also the characters aren't, except for Bryan Cranston, they aren't as interesting of characters. I liked them enough to where I was able to follow them. And I was able to be invested in what they were doing, but they're not memorable. I mean, it is Godzilla. You're not going to watch it for the characters, but the movie focuses a lot on the characters, so it kind of would have helped if they were a bit more interesting and cool. But for the most part, they're all right. But that's my major flaws with the film. Overall, I had so much fun with it. Once you get to the climax of the film, which is really the Godzilla action. That's one thing. They spend the whole middle of the movie, they tease you. Basically, all Godzilla does in the middle of the movie is he pops up, gives a great entrance it's amazing. And then the Muto comes in, they go at it, and it cuts away. And then it shows the aftermath. And that was a little annoying, but they were building to that climax. And that climax, that was so entertaining. That's one of those moments where if I'm in the theater and I forget that I'm in a theater with people sitting around me, I'm just straight invested in the movie. That was that whole ending of the film, and I was just so blown away and so invested. There's so many great moments in that ending that when I think about them, I just smile. Because I just think about how awesome they were, and we'll talk about them more in our spoiler video, but I just smile, and I was like, that's so awesome. I saw the movie in IMAX 3D. As usual, the 3D was totally useless and terrible, but the IMAX was great. It was great being surrounded by the huge screen, seeing Godzilla, and whenever time he roared, the theater shook, and that was awesome. That was great. So definitely worth it for that film. I thought, even though some of the stuff, like I said, with the introduction of the second Muto, that felt kind of rushed and kind of quick, I thought the movie was actually very well paced. Something unless the movie is totally off, like Amazing Spider-Man 2, I don't normally mention the pacing. This was a movie that I felt every scene kept the movie going, kept the plot going forward, advanced the plot. And there's never really a dull moment where I was kind of just wait, okay, let's keep going. So I really like that. The movie is beautifully shot. The director, Gareth Edwards, did a great job at the film. His direction is great. There's so many beautiful shots in this movie, and just scenes, the scene that's in the trailer of the Halo jump, where they're jumping out of the plane. That scene is still amazing in theaters, and is in the actual finished film. It's great. And Godzilla is just awesome. The effects on Godzilla are just amazing. This is one of those movies I say is a pure event type film. You go to it for the spectacle of it. It's one of those types of movies. It's not, and the plot is enough to where you're going to pay attention to it, and still, it's not a Fast and Furious movie where you just don't care at all. You're still invested enough in the plot, but you're not going to think too hard about it. And you probably shouldn't, because then you're probably going to be able to pick it apart. And yeah, so it's one of those type of movies. It's a pure event film. You just go for the awesomeness of this. It's a great disaster film. out of 10, I'm going to give it an 8.5. Because it was flawed, but I still enjoyed it so much. As an experience, as a theatrical experience, I think it deserves a 9, if that makes any sense. But as a movie, as a whole movie in the long run, it's an 8.5. If that makes any sense. Definitely worth checking out. Go in knowing that there's not much Godzilla for the beginning, and there's not much Bryan Cranston. If you go in knowing that, you won't be as disappointed because you'll expect it. And that's what happened with me, and I was perfectly fine with the lack of Godzilla throughout the film because I was actually invested in what was going on. So definitely just go see it. It's a fun movie. See it in IMAX 3D if you can. The 3D is going to suck, but seeing it on that huge screen and that sound is just awesome. Godzilla's back, and that's amazing. This is a great 60th anniversary present for the King of the Monsters. He's back, and he's in the public eye, and it's awesome. So that's about it. Our next video, me and Sam are gonna just delve into this movie, talk about our favorite moments, maybe other flaws we have that have to do with spoilers, and just talk about the epicness that is Godzilla. So until then, I'll talk to you guys later.